Something strange is happening in the waters near Iran right now. Three countries that do not get along with America just did something that got everyone's attention. China, Russia, and Iran brought their warships together for training exercises. And at the same time, the United States is sending its own group of ships toward Iran. This is happening right now in early 2025. Just a few days ago, warships from 3 different countries arrived at a port in Iran called Chabahar. This port sits on the Gulf of Oman, which is one of the most important waterways in the world. About 1/5 of all the oil that gets shipped around the planet goes through a narrow passage called the Strait of Hormuz. Chabahar is right there. The Chinese sent 2 big ships. One is the Bao-2, a guided missile destroyer. Think of it like a floating fortress with powerful weapons. Russia sent 3 ships, including corvettes. Iran brought more than 10 of their own ships to join the training. They call these training exercises the Maritime Security Belt 2025. The 3 countries have been doing these drills together since 2019. This is their 5th time. But this year feels different because of everything else happening. What are they practicing? The ships trained to fight pirates, respond to emergencies at sea, search for people who need rescue, and protect ships carrying important goods. They practice shooting at targets on the water and boarding other ships to search them. These drills last about 5 days. Now, here's what makes this interesting. These 3 countries all have problems with the United States. Iran has been under American sanctions for years. Russia is fighting a war in Ukraine that America is helping Ukraine defend against. And China and America have been arguing about trade. When President Donald Trump saw these drills, reporters asked if he was worried. He said no. Trump said America is stronger than all 3 of those countries combined. But there is more. Iran has been working hard to become friends with China and Russia. In 2023, Iran joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organization led by China and Russia. Then in 2024, Iran joined BRICS. In January 2025, Russia and Iran signed a big agreement to work together for 20 years. Why are these 3 becoming friends? They buy and sell things with each other that other countries will not. China buys lots of oil from Iran, even though America said nobody should. Russia has been buying drones from Iran. These flying robots are used in Russia's war against Ukraine. Thousands of Iranian Shahed drones have attacked cities, power plants, and military targets in Ukraine. And here's something wild. The United States Navy just tested one of these Iranian drones themselves. In December 2024, an American warship called the USS Santa Barbara launched a copy of Iran's Shahed 136 drone from its deck. American engineers took apart the Iranian design and made their own version called Lucas. Why would America copy an Iranian weapon? Because it works really well and costs only about $35,000. The Shahed drone is simple but deadly. It is about 10 feet long with wings that stretch about 8 feet across. It flies to a target and crashes into it like a missile. The scary part is that Iran can make lots of them quickly, and they can launch hundreds at the same time. This brings us to one of the biggest worries now. American warships are heading toward Iran. The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier and its support ships are moving closer to Iranian waters. This carrier is like a floating city. It carries fighter jets, including the super advanced F-35s that can fly without being easily detected. It has early warning planes that can spot enemy missiles or drones from far away. Defense experts are worried about drone swarms. Imagine hundreds of cheap drones all flying toward an expensive aircraft carrier at the same time. The carrier has defenses, but those defenses cost a lot to use. Every time they shoot down one cheap drone, they might spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. If Iran launches hundreds of drones at once, some might get through. Cameron Chell is an expert who runs a drone company. He said Iran's drone capabilities are worth tens of millions of dollars. He explained that Iran's advantage is having lots and lots of cheap drones they can send all at once. He said if hundreds are launched in a short time, some will almost certainly get through. Modern defense systems were not designed to stop that kind of attack. American ships in the Gulf are big, slow, and easy to spot on radar. That makes them good targets. If Iran launches a drone that costs $35,000, and America shoots it down with a missile that costs $300,000, Iran can keep launching until America runs out of expensive missiles. Iran has another new trick. In February 2025, they showed off their first ever drone carrier ship called the Shahed Bagheri. This ship used to be a container ship, but Iran converted it. They added a flight deck that is 180 meters long. That is almost 2 football fields. They put a ski jump ramp on the front. The Shahed Bagheri can carry lots of different types of drones and helicopters. Iranian officials say it can stay at sea for up to 1 year without refueling. They claim it can sail 22,000 nautical miles. The ship has missiles, cannons, and air defense systems. Just days ago, in late January 2025, Iran moved this drone carrier out to sea near their naval base at Bandar Abbas. The timing is interesting because American ships are also in the area. Iran is sending a message. Now let us talk about what is happening inside Iran that makes this even more complicated. There have been huge protests in Iran. People are angry about the economy, corruption, and how the government treats them. Some reports say thousands have died in these protests. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, has been blaming the United States for these protests. He says America is trying to cause trouble inside Iran. The Iranian government is cracking down hard on protesters. President Trump has been threatening Iran, but also saying he wants to make a deal. He sent a letter to Iranian leaders asking if they want to talk about a nuclear agreement. Back in 2018, during Trump's first time as president, he pulled America out of a nuclear deal. After America left the deal, Iran slowly started breaking the rules too. Now Trump is offering to talk again, but he is also threatening Iran. He said if they do not make a deal, America could attack them. He warned that any attack would be far worse than what happened before. Iran and Israel also fought a war for 12 days in June 2025. During that war, Israel attacked targets inside Iran, including places connected to Iran's nuclear program and air defense systems. Iran tried to defend itself, but their Russian-made air defense systems did not work very well. This is why Iran is looking more closely at China for help. China has been sending Iran materials that can be used to make missiles, but China is being careful. They do not want to upset America too much because China and America do lots of business together. All of this creates a really tense situation. Chinese, Russian, and Iranian warships are training together. American warships are heading toward the same area. There are protests inside Iran. There are threats and talk of nuclear deals happening at the same time. And there are new weapons, like drone swarms that could change how battles are fought. Other countries are watching carefully. About 9 nations sent observers to watch the Chinese, Russian, and Iranian training exercises. Countries like Pakistan, Qatar, South Africa, and the United Arab Emirates sent people to see what was happening. The United States has bases all around this region. American troops are stationed in Iraq, Syria, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Jordan, and other places. If fighting breaks out, it would not just affect ships at sea. It could spread to all these different countries. The geography matters a lot. The Strait of Hormuz is only about 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. Iran's coast is right there. They have missiles, drones, and small fast boats that could try to close the strait if they wanted. If oil tankers cannot get through, oil prices around the world would go way up. Iran knows this gives them some power. They cannot beat America in a regular war. American military technology is much more advanced, but Iran can cause problems using different tactics like drone swarms, small boat attacks, and mines in the water. The drone issue is really important to understand. For decades, America had the best drones in the world, but Iran took a different approach. Instead of building super expensive high-tech drones, they figured out how to build thousands of cheap, simple drones. And it turns out that quantity has its own quality. When Russia started using thousands of Iranian drones in Ukraine, the world noticed. That is why America decided to make their own version. Iran has also developed vertical takeoff and landing drones. These can take off like helicopters, which means they do not need a runway. The Iranian Navy uses these a lot because ships do not have room for regular runways. Iran says they learned a lot by capturing American drones over the years. In 2011, they captured an advanced RQ-170 stealth drone. Iranian engineers studied it and used what they learned to build their own versions. Now we have this standoff. Chinese and Russian warships are in Iranian waters doing training. An American carrier group is approaching. Iran has its new drone carrier at sea. Both sides have drones ready. Both sides are saying they do not want war, but are prepared for it. This is like a very dangerous game. Each side is showing strength and hoping the other side backs down. The problem is that when tensions get this high, accidents can happen. A nervous sailor might think a radar blip is an attack and fire first. A drone could malfunction. One small incident could spark a much bigger fight. The training exercises between China, Russia, and Iran are scheduled to end soon. But the larger issues are not going away. Iran still wants to develop its nuclear program. America still wants to stop them. China and Russia still want to challenge American power. And all 3 countries are showing they will work together. What happens next? Will Trump's threats work and force Iran to negotiate? Will Iran keep pushing back and risk American strikes? Will Chinese and Russian support for Iran make America more cautious? Will protesters inside Iran change the government? These training exercises are more than just practice. They are a message. The message is that these 3 countries are willing to work together and support each other. For decades, America could go anywhere without much challenge. Now there are other players teaming up. The waters around Iran are crowded right now with warships from multiple countries. Drones are flying overhead watching everything. Satellites in space are taking pictures. Military commanders are watching screens and making plans. Everyone hopes this does not turn into a shooting war. But with this many weapons and this much tension in such a small area, the risk is real. The cheap drones that Iran developed have changed things. American carriers used to be almost untouchable. Now they have to worry about swarms of drones that cost less than the missiles used to shoot them down. The military situation in the Middle East is more complicated now than in years. Multiple countries with conflicting interests are operating in close quarters. New weapons like drone swarms are changing how naval battles might be fought. Old rivalries between America and Iran, plus tensions with China and Russia, are all mixing together. The next few weeks will tell us a lot. Will diplomatic talks lead somewhere? Will forces stay put or clash? Will protests in Iran force changes? Before these naval drills, Iran hosted a military exercise on its own land. In December 2024, Iran held the first Shanghai Cooperation Organization military exercise on Iranian soil called Shahed 2025. India and 6 other countries sent military forces. This was huge for Iran. For years, Iran was isolated because of sanctions. But joining the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in 2023 gave Iran a way to be part of a big international group again. Think about what life is like for regular people in Iran. The economy is struggling, prices keep going up, jobs are hard to find, the government is strict. When people protest, the government responds harshly. But Iran's military is getting stronger. They build drones, missiles, and drone carrier ships. They make friends with China and Russia. For sailors on these warships, this is serious business. Chinese sailors are thousands of miles from home. Russian sailors came from the Pacific Ocean. Iranian sailors are in their own backyard. They all practice scenarios that could become real if tensions explode. The training includes visit, board, search, and seizure operations. They practice approaching ships, climbing aboard and searching them. They practice damage control for when ships get hit. And they practice search and rescue operations. 9 countries sent observers to watch. By watching, they can report back to their own governments. American forces were watching too. The Navy's 5th Fleet is based in Bahrain nearby. American surveillance planes, drones, and satellites were monitoring everything. Oil is why this area matters so much. Countries everywhere need oil. A huge amount comes from around the Persian Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz. If something blocks that strait, the world economy gets hurt. The timing is not random. Trump became president again in January 2025. He put maximum pressure back on Iran with sanctions and warnings. Iran's response was moving closer to China and Russia. They signed a 20-year partnership with Russia. They hosted the Shanghai Cooperation Organization exercise. Now they do naval drills. China needs oil, and Iran sells cheap. China also sees America as its rival. Russia needs Iranian drones for Ukraine. All 3 countries are tired of American power. By working together, they think they can challenge it. But there are limits. China is cautious because they do business with America. Russia is busy with Ukraine. Iran has internal problems. What we watch is a test of alliances and military capabilities. American warships and Chinese, Russian, and Iranian warships are all in the same waters now. They can see each other on radar. This creates danger. Military commanders know these dangers. They have rules about when they can fire. But accidents happen. The world watches carefully. Stock markets react when tensions rise. Airlines change flight paths. Insurance companies charge more. People around this region worry. If fighting breaks out, where will it spread? Will there be attacks on oil facilities? Will strikes hit civilian areas? The story of Chinese and Russian troops in Iran and Iranian drones threatening U.S. ships is really about power. Who has it? Who wants it? For now, the training exercises will end. The ships will go home. But bigger questions remain. How will Trump deal with Iran? Will Iran negotiate? Can China and Russia really protect Iran if America attacks? The cheap drones Iran developed changed everything. Iran found a way to challenge American military power without spending billions. That drone carrier ship sitting in the water near Iran's coast sends its own message. Iran can now project power beyond its shores. Meanwhile, American forces keep building up. More ships, more planes, more drones. Both sides are preparing for something neither claims to want. What comes next depends on decisions made in Washington, Tehran, Beijing, and Moscow. Each capital has its own interests. The question is whether they can find a way to back down without fighting. History teaches us that when heavily armed forces face each other in small spaces, bad things can happen. One miscalculation, one accident, one wrong choice. That is all it takes. The waters around Iran right now are full of warships. The skies are full of drones and surveillance planes. Everyone is watching everyone else. Everyone is ready. This is the reality of global power struggles in 2025. Not fought on traditional battlefields, but in narrow waterways. Not with massive armies, but with drones and missiles. If fighting starts around the Strait of Hormuz, gas prices everywhere will spike. Products made with oil will cost more. Shipping goods will get harder. The global economy will slow down. What happens between these warships in the Gulf of Oman matters to all of us. Whether you live in America, Europe, Asia, Africa, or anywhere else, you will feel the effects if this situation goes wrong. The Chinese, Russian, and Iranian naval exercises are over in a few days. Then what? Do tensions ease or keep building? Does someone make a mistake? Or do diplomats find a way to pull everyone back from the edge? These questions keep military commanders, political leaders, and regular people awake at night. Because in our connected world, what happens in the waters near Iran affects everyone everywhere. The story continues to unfold day by day, ship by ship, drone by drone.